So let's kind of kick it off with Kyber Pro herbicide. I always kind of start off from the benefits perspective. When you think about from a grower perspective, I always think about trying to bring more flexibility. How do I give myself more options to try to meet the needs of my operation? Between Mother Nature, the weather, everything we deal with each and every year, it's a different year. The reason I like Kyber Pro is when you think about a no-till situation, cover crops, because of the actives, we'll get into the actives here in a minute, we get a nice burn down product here with residual. So we can start that season off clean. It's very important to be using multiple modes of action so that we are starting off clean, and then we'll talk about in-season residual. Now, all of you to some degree are facing some kind of resistance out there. Maybe it's ALS, PPO, glyphosate, you name it. Hopefully in soybeans, you're using those multiple mode of action products to try to preserve the other technologies or the other tools we have in the toolbox. And that's where really Kyber Pro comes in, because in most cases, as we go over those actives, you'll see we have 2, if not 3 modes of action that are different, unique, working on those weeds. That means your herbicide resistance program is functioning properly. The one thing I really like about this product is the long-lasting residual. We say up to 6 weeks, we can go almost up to 8 weeks in the right weather conditions. That just gives you more time. We've all been rained out, we're just too windy to spray, things of those nature. Having that flexibility and residual, giving that longer season residual, just gives you more options from that perspective. And obviously when you think about the U.S. soybean market right now, we're about 65% of the U.S. soybean market's the Enlist system. This product fits great into the Enlist system. It can fit into a conventional program or even an Extend program for that matter, because this is obviously a pre-emerge product. For those of you who have been part of True Choice, what a great way to get not only upfront savings, you know, as you think about, we all buy stuff every time I go to Menards, it seems like way too much. I hate mailing in a rebate. Well, with True Choice, once you pay, once it gets in your account in 24, 48 hours, that savings is right there. So it's upfront savings, you can spend that season, you're not waiting for a rebate at the end of the year. So a very good feature. Now we talk about some of the features with Kyber Pro. 3 modes of action. So you're looking at pyroxasulfone or Zidua, that group 15. You've got flumioxazin, the group 14, and metribuzin, the group 5. Now for some of you, if you've been around farming a while, you remember we used to use a lot of metribuzin back in the day. When you think back in the late 80s, early 90s, we were really having to push our rates of metribuzin fairly high. We just didn't have some of the other tools in the toolbox we have today. Our breeding programs have come a long way. So our tolerance to metribuzin is a lot higher. We're not pushing that metribuzin rate. That's why you're seeing more product concepts coming back in the soybeans across a lot of the companies right now with metribuzin. But when you start putting those 3 together, that's what's giving you up to that 6 weeks pretty consistently. And again, under the right weather conditions, you're going to get even longer than that. So we're very pleased with that performance. And the one thing I really like about the product too is, and I'll show you here in just a minute, the formulation. This is a liquid product. A lot of you who've been farming a while realize we've had a lot of dry products before. Nothing wrong with a dry product, just a little more handling, inconvenience. Having a nice uniform liquid product really makes application go easy for everybody involved. And then obviously having that flexibility from crop rotations and things like that. Again, just gives you a lot more options. The reason I kind of show this picture here is I always try to kind of encourage our customers to realize what you're looking at. Over on that top left-hand picture, that's straight product just in a beaker. So you're just looking at a kind of a milky white product. The reason I show the second picture in the beaker, to me it's really important, what does that product do when you add it into the tank? You know, we don't have windows into our stainless steel tanks, so if you know this product is going to settle, like your atrazine products, your metribuzin products tend to, you know I got to have some at least good agitation there, okay? That's the reason why we show these pictures, so that you can see what it does. And then just with a little bit of mild agitation, that's that top right picture. Again, so as long as you just got some mild agitation, you'll be fine there. The other thing is, I know we all try just to order just enough to get us through the year. That's what the bottom pictures look like there. So you'll see that light brown layer. That's called a cineresis layer. A lot of products in the industry will do that. But once you get a good tank turn or you mix up that jug, it stays in solution fairly well at 70 degrees or that freeze thaw. Does a real nice job. Even at 104 degrees, which we get in our sheds at sometimes, we're seeing a nice uniform product. Just agitate it. We say 2 volume tank turns. We don't see any issues there. So again, very well handling product, fits your needs on the farm very well. So we talked about the actives a little bit here, and my main take-home points is this. When you think about modes of action, you know, when you think about, in general, we can sit up here and talk about corn, we can talk about soybeans, a lot of commodities. Soybeans, we've been a little more limited. As an industry, we're trying to find new actives, new modes of action. Trying to get those products registered is more of a challenge. We can find some new modes, but to meet all the needs, all those choices, crop rotations, carryovers, all the things we deal with, that's getting harder to do. So we've got to try to figure out how do we preserve the modes of action we had today. That's why we're using 2 and 3 modes of action products a lot of time. Now with this particular product, the reason I bring it up is flumioxazin. When you look at our soybean chemistry today, by and large, pre-products are really into 2 camps, either kind of flumioxazin based or sulfentrazone based. And our next product's gonna be sulfentrazone based. Depending on what your flavor is, there's different reasons why you would use one over the other. Kind of like acetochlor versus S-metolachlor. I could kind of poll the audience here, and some of you are going to say you want acetochlor, some are going to say S-metolachlor. There's reasons for both, but that's why Kyber Pro fits a really nice portfolio there. We've talked about the residual control there. I think this is one that I really like, especially when you get up north into that North Dakota, South Dakota, the crop rotation, flexibility, but that length of residual, especially on some of the harder control weeds like kochia, some of those pre-products like this, do an excellent, excellent job. And more importantly, and I know it's kind of a lot of stuff on that slide, folks, my take-home point to you here is this. We want multiple modes of action. I cannot stress that enough, okay? When you look on the front end, we've got to start clean. How you get there, if that's tillage, if that's using cultural, if that's using herbicides, great. But we've got to start that season off clean. We want to use a product like Kyber Pro early as a pre-emerge, multiple effective modes of action. We're going to come in post-emerge. We're not really going to talk about Enlist 1, but if you're using E3 soybeans, approximately about 80% of the time you're going to spray them with Enlist 1 or Enlist Duo. I know there's a high spray rate there. You're going to hear Drake talk about Inversa, adding a layered in-season residual. Okay, that's very important, especially if you're going after some of the amaranth species. We've got to kind of double up our residuals there a little bit to try to kind of keep those weeds at bay. So kind of in summary here, just kind of highlighting why we're bringing Kyber Pro. We like the strong pre-residual. We like starting off clean, giving you good flexibility from pre-plant up to 3 days after after planting. We like the fact that it's compatible with a lot of programs out there. The long-lasting residual gives you more time. When Mother Nature throws a curveball, you've got there. And that formulation advancements there are really a nice advantage. That liquid pre-product gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of application safety, things of that nature.